How's it going, everybody? So, one of the reasons why the audio is taking so long is I decided to get ChatGTP and some other AI involved because they're very, very good at comparing things. So, what I'm doing right now is this audio file, the na 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 na, oh, it sounds like it does the Oswa song or the Oswa sound. So, it's this one. I'm not gonna let the whole thing play, but it's that audio because I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, I've heard it's a person, it's a fox, it's this, it's that, and I'm like, I don't believe that that's any because I've never caught that before. And we do have fox out here. I'll have to upload the video, just make it a short or something, just to be like, yeah, this is how close the fox get to our house. It was probably like 100, 150 feet from the house, just playing on the hay bales like a little kid. Um, so I'm like, what can this be? So what I did was, I'm just gonna bring this up. So I popped on here. You can see we've had some crazy talks. It's crazy how good AI is getting now. Um, I said, can you analyze audio and tell me if it's an animal? And ChatGTP said, yes. If you give me an audio file, I can process it to look for patterns like frequency, ranges, pitches, or pitch changes, rhythm, and harmonic structure that can often distinguish animal sounds from human voices, machinery, or environmental noise. That's that's key to this. So what that means is even if it's a person trying to do this, like some people have said, oh, that's your neighbors or whatever. This will be able to tell because I didn't know until I actually did this. Then no matter what a human actually, the way that the sound like does in bursts and things like that, it's no matter what you're doing, if you're a person, it still has like the same flow to it, if that makes any sense. Whereas animals don't. They'll do more bursts and things like that. So even when I'm talking and starting again like this, the way that it flows is still within, it's different than an animal. So ChatGTP said I can also try to narrow down whether it's a mammal, bird, insect, or something else. Though exact species identification depends on audio clarity and background noises. Do you want me to check for just animal or not, or try for a specific animal type as well? So first it was like, well, let's just see if it's the animal first. And I'm not done with this because I have the free one. I have to wait till tonight to finish this. But, I said, well, let's just see if it's a human or animal. So the audio is 11.66 seconds long and sampled at 44.1 kilohertz, which is correct. That's what I have the audio recorder set to. From the waveform and spectrum, I can already see it as distinct bursts of sound with energy mostly below 8 kilohertz, which is within the range of many animals' vocalizations. If you want, I can run a more detailed analysis looking at pitch contours, harmonic structure, and spectrogram patterns to judge whether it's likely an animal and possibly narrow down the type. So I said, yeah, tell if it's a person. So it couldn't do any more analysis there, but I tried that again today, and it said I can't finish the pitch and harmonic analysis right now. And this is interesting. But based on what I've already seen from the waveform and frequency spectrum, the sound energy is mostly below 8 kilohertz, with clear bursts rather than constant tones. Human voices typically have a fundamental frequency between 85 and 255, plus harmonics that fade above 4 to 5. So this is not in human vocal range is what that's saying. So no matter what, our frequency is between 85 and 255. So when you're getting things that are below 8 kilohertz, that's not a person. That's awesome. That means we can rule out now any person doing this because you physically can't do it. Because our harmonics will fade too from around 4 to 5 kilohertz. If your audio were speech of a person vocalizing, we expect regular harmonic spacing in that band. In the spectrum I examined earlier, the peaks didn't look like clear, steady voice harmonics. They were more irregular, like animal calls or environmental noises. Well, this audio has been cleaned up, and it's in the woods, so we know it's not environmental noise, and there's no machinery back there. So the things I mentioned earlier, we can completely rule out. From this partial analysis, it does strongly resemble human speech, but it's more likely a non-human source, possibly an animal. So think about what that just said. From this partial analysis, and we're going to finish this up tonight, it doesn't strongly resemble human speech, but it does have. If you notice, though, it sounds like the pattern that we hear with our ears, right? That does sound like something's trying to say something. But this is saying it doesn't resemble human speech. It's more likely a non-human source, possibly an animal. If you want, I can make a spectrogram image, which we already have the spectrogram image. I mean, that's what we're analyzing it in this. That would make a more certain conclusion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this video up today, and then tomorrow, once I'm able to do more. So this is probably just going to be like a little ongoing project we have, because this is getting interesting now. So now we know that's not a person because of the hertz range. The kilohertz, I mean. That's going to be fascinating to then go and have it do other things, like with the fake coyote and some other stuff, and find out, okay, so what's going on in these? And it might honestly be worth my time to just go ahead and upgrade and pay for the $20 or whatever it is a month, get a whole bunch of stuff done in a month. Because this is what I needed, was AI to help me do things like this, because I needed some audio experts to come in and look at this and go, is it an animal? What kind of animal is it? Things like, well, this can just do that for me, because, AI can tie into all these different data banks, and then it's very, very good at doing things like this, like analysis and comparing. Obviously, you have to double check its work, but, now it doesn't even matter if anyone gets back to me, in my opinion, because this is going to help me as much as a person could in that sense of finding possible matches and figuring out if it's a human or animal. But I just wanted to give this update. This is going to be a huge help now in audio. Sorry that it's been taking me this long, but there's even more weird stuff coming up like this that I need help analyzing. Is why the audio has been taking so long too, and I'm trying to get all of June done. But yeah, that's all I can do is wow. This is getting real interesting now, and as you hear my dog. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, and thanks for all the support. We're getting super close to 100 followers now, which is crazy. The almost 100 people are wanting to keep up to date on this, but greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a great day or night wherever you're watching this. Later.